Hey guys, Zach here. So as opposed to our more longer structured reviews that we do here on the channel, today we're just going to be doing a quick review of Antman and the Wasp Quantumania, which is the latest release from Marvel, and probably number one at the box office currently as the time of this recording, and Knock at the Cabin, which came out a couple weeks ago, but didn't get a chance to see until recently. So let's get into it. Spoilers ahead. So recently, I saw the 31st film from Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Wasn't really feeling this one, unfortunately, at all. It just felt like it was really inconsequential, and it just felt like it was 2 hours of just trying to get to the end credit sequence to tease the next thing. I will admit, outside of a few, the Marvel movies aren't really my thing, but this movie just really encapsulates everything that I don't really like about them. If the movie can't take more serious moments or threats seriously, then why should the audience? For example, there's this character, MODOK, who is presented as this kind of serious thing, and Skip, when you see it, it's kind of silly, but it could work, but it just felt like they just didn't really know what to do with it, so they just turned it into a joke, and so why should we care about this? It also kind of reminds me of that episode of Jimmy Neutron when Sheen's in that big chair. The whole movie, Kang, is built up to be the new bad guy, and it's just alluded to all the things that he's going to do in the future. And at the end of the movie, during Scott's monologue, he starts to think about this and the ramifications for what they might have done in the quantum realm, but he literally shrugs it off and goes, I'm sure it's nothing. So if Kang is supposed to be a threat, but Scott shrugs it off for comedy, why should we care about Kang? So it's just things like that I just didn't really care for. Unfortunately, too, the movie was just also really ugly to look at, which was surprising because it was shot by Bill Pope, who's probably most famous for being the cinematographer on the Matrix trilogy, as well as the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. The first 15 minutes and maybe about the last 5 minutes or so of the movie are very vibrant and colorful as we follow Scott through practical location San Francisco. But as soon as all the characters enter the quantum realm, the movie is just colored in a lot of ugly browns and oranges, and the production design is sometimes colored in this way too, which is really a bizarre choice and unfortunate, especially because there's a lot of very cool background characters that are very interesting to look at, but with some of the costume choices for the characters and the production design and the coloring, sometimes the characters just kind of blend in with the background. All in all, the performances weren't that bad. While Jonathan Majors isn't really doing anything new here performance-wise with Kang, you can tell that he's at least taking it seriously, and definitely by far the best performance in the film. Michelle Pfeiffer, she definitely gets a few moments to shine, and Paul Rudd is just doing his thing to hold it down. But for me, with a weak script and weak visual language, the movie just suffers, unfortunately. The next film I saw was the latest from M. Night Shyamalan, Knock at the Cabin. For the most part, I kinda dug this one, but just like any Shyamalan movie, it's definitely not without its issues. This one was weird because the whole time you're questioning what's going on and you're waiting for the twist, but there wasn't one. The movie was just exactly what it is. Maybe this is stupid to say, it probably is, but in a way the twist is that there was no twist. Knock at the Cabin is one of those movies where if you watch the trailer, you almost saw the whole movie. Outside of a few key scenes and the ending, a good gist of the movie is in the trailer, which kind of sucks because you weren't getting any new information that you haven't already seen before. You obviously were getting all the context, which was nice, but for me, it just kind of bogged the movie down. With all that being said, the movie is very meticulously shot. For me, I don't think you can call Shyamalan a bad director. Say what you will about his scripts, but specifically, if we're just talking camera work, I don't think you can deny that he knows how to shoot a movie. Especially these smaller, self-funded films. That's right, self-funded. So if you're wondering who keeps giving M. Night Shyamalan money, it's himself. This is his third self-funded film. The performances are fine, nothing really stands out except for Dave Bautista. He definitely shines in this and gives the best performance in the film. I think the biggest thing that weighs the movie down is the ending. So I didn't realize until after the movie that it was actually an adaptation of a book called Cabin at the End of the World. At the end of the book, one of the dads accidentally kills their daughter, and the two men are left wandering the remains of their days together, and you're not quite sure if there really is an apocalypse or if all it was just nonsense, which is cool to leave it so open-ended. In the movie adaptation, one of the dads dies and the apocalypse is real, and after the dead dad takes his own life, the apocalypse ends. While I can see wanting to change the ending to create something more upbeat and happy, as it leaves the daughter and the surviving father to just kind of drive off into the sunset, it kind of unintentionally creates a message that I think will and already has upset some people. Also, by doing this, it kind of answers the thesis of the movie for the audience. If God is real, is he worth sacrificing your family or loved ones for? Not that the audience still can't ponder this question on their own after the movie ends, but by not leaving it open-ended like in the book and just answering basically yes, it just makes the ending just kind of feel like it just fizzles out. Shyamalan films are a guilty pleasure for me. I think even though he's kind of hit or miss nowadays, I think his swing for the fences approach is something that you at least have to admire in today's kind of mainstream Hollywood landscape. And that's what I thought was really cool about watching these two movies almost back to back, was the two directing style approaches could not be any more at opposite ends. Because there isn't really anything interesting that Peyton Reed is doing here. Not that I think he's a bad director overall, it's just there isn't much noteworthy that he's doing in terms of direction. As opposed, you look at Shyamalan's approach for Knock at the Cabin, the camera turns, and the way he blocks the actors and the way he's working with tight close-ups, it's just much more engaging. And so it was just really interesting to see these two different styles and approaches contrast each other. All right, guys, so that was my review for Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Knock at the Cabin. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think I'm absolutely insane for liking an M. Night Shyamalan movie over Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania, or if you thought I was maybe a little too harsh on Antman, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see this kind of content again.